At 400 feet AGL, in this case 441 feet on the altimeter, the pilot announces and confirms gear down, and stabilized. 100 feet prior to minimums, the pilot announces 100 to go. The final call out is at the decision altitude, in this case 241 feet, where the pilot announces minimums. At which point the pilot will continue the approach if all requirements are met, or execute the appropriate missed approach procedure if they are not. The approach is continued using the glide slope and VASI if available, and reducing the speed toward 80 knots as the runway threshold is approached. In the last 50 feet, the throttles are closed to reduce the speed to 75 knots at touchdown. A small flare is made to ensure a smooth touchdown in the touchdown zone. This ILS to a missed approach demonstration starts at 100 feet above minimums on the ILS Approach.
100 to go.
At the decision altitude, without the required visual references in sight, the decision to execute a missed approach is made.
Minimums.
The procedure starts by advancing the throttles to full power and simultaneously applying positive back pressure on the yoke in order to establish a pitch-up attitude. While continuing the pitch-up process, the flaps are slowly retracted while maintaining a positive climb attitude and positive rate of climb. With a positive rate of climb clearly established, the gear is retracted. The pitch up should continue to establish a pitch attitude that will result in a climb speed of 88 knots. 88 knots is maintained until 500 feet AGL and clear of obstacles, at which point the pitch is lowered slightly to start an acceleration towards 110 knots. If you are unfamiliar with the local terrain and obstacles, ATP recommends maintaining 88 knots to the missed approach altitude. Once past the missed approach waypoint, Suspend appears above the OBS button to indicate that waypoint sequencing has been suspended. The pilot presses the OBS key to continue sequencing to the next waypoint, and the CDI key is pressed to have the HSI CDI needle display course guidance information from the GPS. The CDI needle is turned to the indicated outbound course, in this case 139. The missed approach procedure on this approach requires that the initial turn be made at 700 feet. At 1,000 feet AGL, the pilot reduces the power to 24 inches and 2,500 RPM and performs the after takeoff checklist. This missed approach procedure requires that the aircraft climb to 1,900 feet and intercept the outbound course. As level off occurs, a significant power reduction is required to slow the aircraft to 100 knots for the hold. As always, the pilot is flying the HSI CDI needle and joins the outbound course as it comes alive. As the holding waypoint is reached, the GPS confirms a teardrop entry is appropriate, requiring a turn to 169 for 1 minute upon reaching the holding fix. Upon reaching the holding fix, the pilot notes the time and starts the turn to 169. Once on the heading, the pilot twists the CDI needle back to the inbound course of 319. Now that the aircraft is established in the hold, the pilot can make the required holding entry call to ATC. After 1 minute, the pilot turns inbound to rejoin the inbound course. Upon reaching the fix, the pilot starts the turn outbound, and the process continues until vectors or an approach clearance is given.